My talk with author Jerry Healy picks back up this morning. Now, along with writing crime novels, Jerry has also co-written an investment guide called The Wisdom of Solomon. Jerry, can you tell our viewers how this book came about?
A good friend of Sandy's and my fiance's and mine in the Fort Lauderdale area is an incredibly successful independent investor. But like many of us in late 2007, he saw half his net worth disappear in 2 months because of all of the crashes in the various markets, and even within markets, fields like housing and so on around the world. And so he set about to look at the stocks that didn't crash, that didn't fall, to see if there were any characteristics common to the survivors, if you want to call them that. And he came up with what he called a system. And the system is really quite simple. You don't have to understand the stock market to be able to invest successfully in stocks. And the reason for that is that if you have a stockbroker carefully screen a number of different stocks based on 3 sorting characteristics, which is, the sorting characteristics are really quite simple. The volume of stock trading in that particular company per day, the yield received on that stock or bond or master limited partnership. And then third, the integrity of the senior management. How long has the company been in business, but how long have these people been running it? Because chances are, the longer they've been in the management team, the less likely they're going to make another mistake. They've already made most of the mistakes they are going to.
Okay.
And the beauty of this system is that it removes ego and gambling, if you will, from how you invest your money. You simply look at a stock that trades every day at 10 times the volume of the amount of stock you're going to buy. So for example, if you want to buy 1,000 shares of a given stock that's already been carefully screened, then you just have to make sure that at least 10,000 shares of that stock are traded every day. Why? Because you want to be able to sell that stock on to someone else, and you want there to be a lot of buyers in the market. You carefully screen this stock then for its yield, sometimes called dividend, though they're slightly different concepts. And so if the yield on a stock is greater than 8%, that gives you a nice cushion. 8% of your investment will be returned to you as a dividend every year. So the stock has to fall more than 8% for you to lose money on it. And the third characteristic is the management and how solid they are, what kinds of seminars they attend. And all of this information is available readily via the internet. And so all he does is he has 3 stockbrokers because he's quite wealthy, and I have only 1, but he has all 3 stockbrokers screen, and because the stockbrokers just naturally have different interests one from the other, they will come up with different candidates for that day's consideration. And the beauty of the system, and by the way, Leonard Solomon was the largest budget rent-a-car franchisee. He built Budget in Florida.
Wow, yeah. I was just going to ask who Leonard was.
And he's also the father of someone you're too young to remember, but Harold Solomon, the great moonballing tennis player, pro, got up to number 4 in the world at one point, who was a contemporary of Jimmy Connors, Chris Evert, the Gottfried brothers. And they all played together at Holiday Park in Fort Lauderdale. Their fathers all taught them how to play tennis.
Wow, that's interesting.
It was an interesting, fairly close-knit group to be invited to become part of.
And now in this book, you talk all about this system that you just spoke with us about. How does this system differ from other investment guide systems?
Well, first of all, in the number of factors that must be focused on. Secondly, in the discipline to sell a stock that is going up because you see another stock that looks better. And as long as you wait for a month, if the stock that you originally held drops, you can now buy it back for less money and get a higher return on that investment because the stock costs less and therefore the 8%, let's call it, becomes more like 10 or 12% on your new lower purchase price.
Wow. Well, this sounds so interesting, and if you're interested in hearing more about this system, you can pick up your copy of thewisdomofsolomon.com. You can find it online and also check out Jerry's website as well. Okay.
Correct.
Thank you, Jerry, for sharing all of this with us this morning.
It's been a pleasure.
Thank you, everyone. We're going to take a quick break, but when I return, I'll be with Dr. Kendall Jones. Stay with me.